What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this one here, we're going to be taking Dazzler in against Galactus. So I did get her to level 70, so that means I wanted to try her out against Galactus. Overall, she seems like she's more of a support character. Her damage wasn't as impressive as I was hoping for, so yeah, and even in like War Boss Ultimate content as well, her damage is kind of subpar, so she does seem to be more of a support character. She has really cool animations, but yeah, she's mainly going to be support. She is still very powerful, but not really going to be taking over any kind of clears for your War Boss Ultimate teams, or going to be kind of a reliable source for a Galactus clear. But let's just go ahead and look at my build here, and then I will show you the gameplay, and you can see exactly how she did against Galactus. As you can see, she is mainly a support character because she's got that nice support passive here with a little bit of a tweak. It's for mutants, and it increases damage for boss types or against boss types. So a little bit different there, and ignores dodge, which is really, really nice because that's 70%. So very strong support there. And this was just, yeah, that was just for self. For her ISO 8, we have Power of Angry Hulk. For her custom gear, her Obelisk gear, we have a crit damage, recovery, and a 160 proc on it. So nothing too spectacular there, but it is 160, so definitely not the lowest. It's kind of just in the middle there. For the details, you can see some of the stats here. She's actually very low for that crit rate. I don't remember if her crit rate got buffed, but everything else is close enough to where I want it to be. Let me go ahead and check really quickly if the third skill is given the buffs. Yeah, it has 35%, so our crit rate is going to be pretty good once we use that third skill. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the gameplay and see exactly how she did. Alright, so here we are loading into the fight. We have two random teammates here, one with a tier 3 Luna that's fully maxed out, and then we have a tier 3 Galactus that actually has a lead and a support as well. So they're probably going to be putting in quite a bit of work for us, which is good because, like I said, I don't have super high hopes for Dazzler here in terms of her damage. But this is the team that I decided to go with. We have She-Hulk for lead to give her that nice 65% against male types. And then we have Valkyrie for her tier 2 support. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this going. We pop the tier 3 skill, or the tier 3, we pop the third skill so that we have that buff going on there. We get that nice kind of glowing rainbow ring that does apply all of its effects to your teammates as well. So that will be buffing them up a little bit. And of course it amplifies our own skills, so we mainly want to try to do only skills when we are inside of that circle. If we leave that circle, then we don't get the extra effects that it provides for us, and that actually gives us a pretty significant boost in damage just in terms of the changes to these skills, not only the buff from the third skill itself, but the changes to the skill animations add a lot more hits, and that way a lot more damage. So we're just going to kind of roll through it here. As you can see, we are, flying through Galactus pretty quickly here, but a lot of that is from the other characters. Actually, most of that is from the other characters, so don't be expecting to see some huge numbers from Dazzler at the end of the clear here, but we will be able to see how much damage she's actually doing here against Galactus in terms of like her raw damage, because of course no effects here, no all defense down or anything like that to rely on. So that's something else to keep in mind, because there are quite a few characters that really do just rely on kind of crippling the opponent's defense to do damage, whether that be defense or elemental resistance. But yeah, we're doing work here, but that's mainly that Luna. That Luna was geared up to the max. Was it a Nick Fury and White Fox, I think, combo, which whenever you see someone with that combo, you know they're going to be taking down Galactus in like sub 4 minutes or sub 5 minutes or something like that by themselves for the most part. The Apocalypse here is probably putting in a little bit of work as well, so let's see how much damage we actually do compared to that Apocalypse. So we had a tier 3 Apocalypse, a Magneto lead, and then a Werewolf support, which is an interesting option there. He might have already used up his other supports, or he was maybe pretty confident in the damage as Apocalypse could do. I'm not really sure, because Werewolf is just a crit crit and crit damage buff, I believe. I don't really use Warwolf much at all, and I honestly do forget about him being a support character most of the time, so I can't remember what his actual support was. I believe it was just crit rate and crit damage. I don't think there was any flat damage boost with him, so we'll see what happens here. And of course, we are getting support from Dazzler herself, because Galactus here is a boss. So her, what, 60% tier 2 passive is going to be boosting her own damage as well. So we have leadership, her own passive, and Valkyrie's passive. So we have 3 sources here boosting her damage. So let's see how she stacked up. So we got, what, 3 minutes and 30-second clear, or around there. The Luna did 58% of the damage, 3 minutes and 22 seconds. In that 3 minutes and 22 seconds, we did, was that 10 million damage? I can barely see with that countdown clocking away there. Yeah, we did 10 million damage, 10.8, so almost 11. The Apocalypse did 18.7. So he did almost double our damage, and of course the Luna did carry us there. But this was in 3 minutes and 22 seconds, so if we kind of multiply that out to see what kind of damage she would do for the entire fight, or for like the full 10-minute period, we're going to get closer to around 30 million, maybe 28 million damage, and that would actually be a clear in my book, because I consider a character a pass or a clear against Galactus if they can do 1/3 of his HP in the 10-minute period, and 1/3 is around 24 million damage, and she's doing a little bit more than that, so I would say she could clear Galactus with this current build that I have here. So if you have a similar build and using similar team up, then you should expect to be able to clear Galactus if you have 2 other players doing the exact same thing. So that was just kind of a quick showcase of Dazzler here. Let me know what you think. Should I try her out in a little more content? What are you curious to see her in? Should I try out in some Warboss Ultimate? Should I try her in a different game mode? Just to see what she can do in them, even though, you know, she might not be the best of them, but hey, we can kind of compare her damage and see what kind of potential she has. Or do you just want to see her as a support character and maybe test out the differences of using her versus 2 supervillain boosting supports? But that's going to be it for this one here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.